Welcome back to Total Lefty Disc Golf, and today we're going to be talking about one of the most important things when it comes to improving your game in disc golf, and that is putting. So most amateurs, they don't really practice putting. They go out on the course, they start their round, they throw 2 off a tee, they'll take multiple shots, and then they'll get up to the basket, and then they'll have a chance to save that par, or they'll have a chance for a long birdie putt, and then unfortunately they will 3-putt, or they will hit the cage, or they'll sail past it without any regard to how it's going to affect their score. Today we're going to be talking about some important things to do to really focus on your putting game. To begin, we want to talk about the very beginning of putting, how people get into it, and how people get started. So, I have my 2 putting putters here. When I first started, I just picked it up and had no idea what I was doing and just started tossing it at the basket. And that's okay. When you're first starting out, you don't really look for anything specific to try and improve your game or get better. You just go out and play and hope you get better on your own. But what I've found to be the most helpful is lots and lots and lots of practice, as is with most things in life. So to begin with the grip of the putter, what I found to be most useful is to grab the putter like I would grab a driver or anything else that I would throw. I would open up the fingers on the back, and then I would just start tossing it up and spinning it over and over and over, and then I would grab it firmly, and however my hand is settled on the disc like this, on a firm grasp, this is how my grip is. I do this because this is the most comfortable to you as the player and you as a person. I find it really difficult to try to imitate other pros or other players' putting styles, especially when they've been doing that style for so long and you don't have any background in it. So when you change putting styles every week or every month, you're really just confusing your body, and it's going to make it very hard to get really good at putting. All right, so now that we've talked about grip and how we want to hold our putter when we're putting, the next thing I want to talk about is the style of putting that we're going to do. So there are 2 main styles and then kind of a weird combination of style. There's a spin putt, which is when you are putting so much spin on the disc that you don't have to get the height. And then there's a push putt, where you come from a more farther down position, down close to the thigh and the knee area, and you come upwards and release. And you're still putting spin on the disc, but you're not putting as much spin. The push putt is really good for distance control. So for longer putts, you can, if you miss, you're not going to sail past the basket and have a very long comeback putt. The spin putt is also very good for long putts, but it has its drawbacks. If you do miss wide left or high or wide right, then it's going to keep going and it's going to go fairly far. Each one has its drawbacks, each one has its pros as well. My personal preference is I like to do a spin putt with a little tiny bit of push mixed in there. But the third option, the kind of combination, is a spush putt, and that is where some players will bring it down low, but then as they're pushing forward, they'll put this extra whip on it at the end, which still allows them to have the height, but not have as much speed on it as a traditional spin putt. I'm more towards the spin putt style, but I do have a little bit of the push putt in it, especially for the 25 to 30 to 35 foot putts. Okay, so now that we've talked about styles of putts and the way to hold your putter, now we're going to talk about how you want to practice. So the way to be elite and great at these putts is to go out and practice. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, no magic sauce, no sprinkle fairy dust to it. You just have to practice. I recommend getting a practice basket going inside somewhere where you can really focus on getting your putting stroke down. That way, you don't have any external factors to focus on. It's only you and the basket. Once you have your putting stroke perfected, or you feel that it is perfected, and you start making lots of your putts from longer ranges close to circle's edge inside, if you have that much room, or even 20 feet, whatever you feel is outside of your previous range. Once you start making those putts consistently over and over and over again, then I suggest going outside and focusing on how the putts react in the sun, in the heat, or even when it's cold outside, or even when it's windy. Then you start to learn how to putt with external factors. This and this alone is what's going to make you the best putter possible and the best putter that you can be. Now for practice, what I like to do is I like to set up my basket here, and I like to start with 15-foot putts. This is what I feel is my 100% range. I can take my putters and really drain them and not really worry about, okay, am I gonna miss this putt? Do I have to put enough power on this putt? For you, it may be 10 feet, and that's perfectly okay. Everyone has to start somewhere. When I first got this practice basket, I was only making 30 to 40% of 15 footers. Now I'm at the point where I make almost 100% of 15 footers. I think I'm at 98% according to my app in the last 3 months. So it really has shown lots and lots of improvement with this practice basket and with just consistency in the practice routine. So like I said, I like to start at the 15-foot mark, put a marker down, do 50 putts, and then move back 5 feet. And then do the same thing again at 20 feet, and then back up, and then do the same thing at 25 feet. For me, 20 feet is what I feel is the edge of my range. What that means is I feel that I can make about 75 to 80% of my 20-foot putts on any given day. And then what I do next is, after I do my 50 putts at 20 feet, is I back up to 25 feet. Even though this is out of my range, this is still going to introduce the distance and the uncomfortableness to my putting. That way I can still work on it in a controlled environment. What we don't want to do is we don't want to start out at 40 feet or 45 feet putts if you're only going to make 1 or 2 out of 50. That is no longer teaching yourself how to make putts. It's going to teach yourself how to miss putts, and then you're going to become frustrated, and it's going to make it a lot hard to want to practice. Some things I have found to make putting practice easy, because let's be real, it can get kind of boring, is I like to play games. I like to set up markers at 3-foot intervals instead of 5, so start at 15 and then go 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, and then have 3 putters. So how this game works is, let's say I already have set up a 15-foot mark, and I'm gonna putt. Cool, I made all 3. Now I'm gonna move back to 18 feet, all right? And let's say I only make 2. I'm gonna go retrieve my putters at this from the 18-foot mark, and then come back to the 18-foot mark, and then do it again. This I have found really helps to spice it up and keep things fresh and always be adjusting distances. If you make all 3, you move back 1 distance marker. So from 15 to 18 and so on. If you miss 1 putt out of the 3, then you just stay at the same place. You go get them, come back, stay at wherever you just putted from. And then if you miss 2, you go back forward to your previous station. So here, I'm at 15, I'm gonna back up to 18 now. I make the first one, I miss the second one low, I miss the third one low. Okay, now what this is gonna tell me is, okay, maybe I'm not super comfortable at this 18-foot mark. Let's move back up to 15 feet and do it again. And keep going through that motion back and forth until you start to consistently make these 18-footers, and then you can start moving farther and farther away. What makes it a little fun and puts a little pressure to simulate rounds with friends or tournament rounds is if you miss all 3 putts, then you have to start all the way over from the closest that you started. So, and this can be done in any format. You could do 5-foot increments starting at 5 feet away from the basket. You could do 2-foot increments starting at 10 feet away from the basket. Whatever you are most comfortable with, that's what I urge you to work on. That's all we have for today. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. I really have been working on my putting a lot recently, and I have seen that it's been working wonders for my game. I've been saving some really long par putts after a bad tee shot. I've been making some really long birdie putts, and it's made me feel more confident about my game. Stepping up to the putt knowing I've hit this putt before, I can do it again. But I appreciate you guys for watching. If you want to watch anything else related to form or field work, I have a forehand video that's been up for a few days now. Go take a look at that. If you have any questions or anything, feel free to leave a comment down below. Other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.